All right, here with Angelo State following the 3-0 sweep of UT Tyler to advance to the Lone Star Conference championship game. From left to right, outside hitter Madi Parrish, head coach Chuck Waddington, and setter Gabi Ashcraft. Coach, you mentioned yesterday this was going to be a dogfight, and despite a 3-0 result, I'm pretty sure you got yourself a dogfight. Talk to me about your initial thoughts from the match.
Yeah, as you were saying that 3-0 sweep, it did not have felt like a 5-set match. It really did. It was, dogfight is a good word. You know, I think that Tyler, more than just about any other team in our league, when postseason gets here, they have an ability to just take it up a notch, you know, and they certainly did that tonight. They played pretty well. It was a back and forth kind of thing, and you know, any of those sets at the end could have gone any way, and our team just kind of, you know, there are timeouts late. We talk about executing, and we did. You know, we made plays at the end of each of those sets to kind of to seal them. You know, a block in set 2, a block in set 3. I can't remember how set 1 ended, but this feels like a long time ago. But it really is. It's a credit to them because they play so hard. You know, and they challenged us in ways. We were out of system a lot tonight. They brought it from the service line, but I noticed in the third set we kind of settled with our platform. We passed a lot more threes. We had a lot more options offensively, you know, in serve receive. So I like how we settled, even though it was chaotic. You know, we kind of settled into a groove and kind of competed really well tonight.
Maddie, you led the match with 15 kills. Feels like another day at the office for you. You know, always seem to lead the match in all kills, and no matter what. Just talking about your thoughts personally from your individual performance and how you think the team performed as a whole.
Overall, the team played amazing. Like, we played together, first of all. That's what we needed. Me personally, I played better than yesterday, but I owe that to the setters for sure, passers, everything. So our team played lights out tonight.
And then Gabi, over to you. You had yourself with 19 assists on the night. How do you just talk about your individual performance, and how do you think you and your opposite set are able to help everybody out tonight?
Yeah, I mean, just like the hitters getting kills, like that just gives me confidence. Like, kind of started off like maybe a little rough, but then I feel like throughout the match it like definitely just built confidence, and then dumped a few balls, got a few kills, got hype, so that was good.
Gabi, what was it that you were seeing from Tyler's defense, though, for y'all to adjust to try to find Madi and Gabi and Julia?
I think just like getting the splits, like that's what we work on in practice all the time. Like, our middles do a great job of pulling the blockers, and so a lot of the times that lets me get Demi and Madi and Julia all like splits, and then they just slam the ball straight down, and it's just great. So, yeah.
I think following that up, like, we run, we try to get a split for Demi quite a bit when she's up there because she's with Demi, and we set Kate out of the middle. We got the ball back on a free ball, and most of the time we'll send Kate left to create a split right, you know, and very rarely do we set that. We call it a gap set, but we set it, we scored on it, and that's what happens, you know, when you go to a player a lot, the other team starts to cheat that way, and that's just how good offense works, and I thought we did a pretty good job of that tonight.
And Chad kind of alluded to it, Maddie, but didn't have the greatest of games yesterday, played a lot better today. Just talk about what you did to kind of adjust from yesterday to today.
I just went on like a mindset with you're not going to be perfect. You just got to chill out a little bit. But this game definitely, he gave me some nice words, so that helped me out.
Good words. Good words.
But overall, I just have to play like myself, and when I do, I tend to do better than.
And Chuck,
sorry, no worries.
I'm sorry.
No.
Chuck, during the second set, you called a timeout, and you looked very animated, kind of frustrated at the team. Was it frustrated with not? Kind of seems like they're getting a lot of things short that you weren't covering properly. So what was it that was kind of the point of contention with you?
Well, there was a series of 3 or 4 balls in a row that we just miscommunicated, misplayed. There was a ball that landed in between 2 players on the other side. There's a ball that was tipped over, and everybody was hoping somebody else got it, you know, and that's a sign right there. That's a flag. Like, listen, we're not in the right mindset. So I regrouped our mindset a little bit, you know, but I was upset, you know, because that's not how we need to play. That's not the right mentality we want to have on the court, and it's usually not that way, but I could sense it. I saw it. I wasn't going to wait for another point, because it was literally 3 or 4 just kind of like, what? Like, what do we do in kind of plays, and they knew it. And so we just kind of regrouped with some, I don't know, I was talking loud and like stern, but like just by the end of it, we're talking about the things we need to do, So I kind of leveled out. These guys kind of leveled out, but I made sure they knew that I was not happy with how we were doing things, and they take it well, they do. They respond pretty well. I think in the beginning of the year, it's hard for them to understand what my intention is with that, but it's like a, hey, snap out of it kind of mentality, and we did, and we played much better after that, which was good.
Just a question for the players. Obviously, you'll have a plan going into the season, but obviously, Demi Carter didn't play the first few tournaments. That was a big loss. And then mid-season, you have a couple players go down, one of them being Sydney Thornton. And then at that point, it's next man up mentality, and that next man has been Hannah Spencer. What have you guys seen from her that y'all have been proud of, just like stepping up for that role in replace of Sydney after she went down with an injury?
Honestly, I think Hannah has done what we needed her to do. Her blocking is insane. When she's on, she is going to block you straight in the face. Her mentality has been amazing. She does some silly things, but then the next point she slams that ball down, and it just makes us hype because she's the funniest person ever on the court. We love her so much.
Yeah, she has like the best personality, so I think that brings a good like energy to the court. And then like her blocking is amazing, like Maddie said. And then like this past week, her hitting has been like next level. Like I've never seen like Hannah Spencer swing like that, and it's just been so like game changing for us.
Yeah, I told her straight up in our practice before, I guess Wednesday's practice, I said, we need your contribution. We need you to score. We need you to be a viable option for us. And then yesterday, like she bounced some balls. Like she was, and that's the Hannah that I know. Like she started the entire year her freshman year, like, and she was an impact player in postseason. Like she's been that kid for us before, and so she's starting to get back into that groove and be someone you've got to pay attention to on the net. And I love the success she's having. Obviously you're right, we had some injuries, and but it is next man up, and we have depth on this team. We really do. We've got depth in just about every position. So when you lose a couple starters and then you're missing another starter, we weathered the storm, and here we are. We're going to get a chance to play for a conference championship tomorrow. So credit to those kids for staying patient through that process, because when you're not playing, when you're just on the sideline, you're not getting an opportunity, it's hard. It's hard. You have to be selfless, and you have to be patient, and you have to stay ready. That's the hardest part. We've got 21 kids on our team. We play 10. So more than half of my team is not playing every single match. In some places that would tear a team apart, but this team stays together. They care about each other. They want team success, above their own success, and I think that's what makes us who we are.
And then 2 more questions for me to end tonight, Coach. The first one, in set number 3, there was a big block. The crowd's going crazy. You take a moment to turn and point it to the stands. Talk to me about that moment. Who are you pointing to and what that was for everything?
Well, it was Kate that blocked the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard him. I heard her dad. I turned around. I just looked right at him. I pointed at him. He had a big old grin on his face. He is absolutely her number one fan. He's been with probably one exception in 4 years. Maybe he's been to just about every match. He's a big supporter, not just of Kate, but our whole team. He's loud. We serve an ace. You hear him, ace, ace, he's going to be tough to replace, just as tough as she is, And so I turned around and gave him a look because, she's playing great for us right now, and he's the proudest dad out there.
And then last one, the one we always end off with. You, tomorrow, Lone Star Conference Championship. You're taking on a familiar foe in Lubbock Christian. Went to their place earlier in the year, got a 3-0 sweep. What does the Bells have to do in order to raise the championship tomorrow afternoon?
Well, the thing we talked about right after the match, after they put their sticker on the wall and we came back down to the floor, is it's not going to be like it was up in Lubbock. They'll be prepared. They're playing well. And so I don't expect it to be, I expect it to be another dogfight. When we came into this tournament, I said it's a 3-day fight, and tomorrow's day 3. So we got to be ready to fight because it's our home court. We got to protect it. We got to go out and earn. They're not going to hand it to us. They've got some great players. They had a bunch of first-team all-conference kids, setter of the year, academic player of the year. Lily Bickley is stupendous as a middle. She scores at a high level, so. And they have a San Angelo and I guess on their team who's playing at a real high level, another first-team all-conference kid, and and Emily Sikora. So she's going to bring a whole bunch of fans that would normally be cheering for us. They're going to be cheering for them. So we got to pack the house. We got to be prepared for a fight, and these guys got to take care of their bodies tonight and be ready for tomorrow.
Coach, Maddie, Gabby, thank you for your time. Best of luck tomorrow.
Well.
Thank you.